Okay, let's talk the Cincinnati Bengals and the Detroit Lions. Right now, the Bengals are 3.5 point. There is a 3 out there. There's one rogue 3. It is juiced pretty heavily, but 3.5 seems to be the prevailing number here. Road favorites over the Detroit Lions, a total of 47.5 to 48. Joe Burrow is supposedly on air quotes here, voice rest right now. He left that. He did not leave the game. Actually, he was taken to the hospital after the game this past week with a bruised throat. That sounds not fun, but is going to be able to go this week. He was just on voice rest this week. The Bengals had a chance to beat the Packers last week. Packers had a chance to beat the Bengals last week. Finally ends up getting done later on by Mason Crosby after missing a couple of kicks as well. It was a very wild and wacky game. That said, this Bengals team was able to hang and was able to play with the Packers for the majority of the game here, Steven. So I'm looking at a team in the Lions that has also been pretty feisty. Now, the advanced metrics don't really back up that this team is any good, but it is at least a team that, as much as we joked in the offseason about Dan Campbell and his philosophy and all the stuff he was saying and all that, like they play hard for this guy for sure.
Yeah, I'm not ruling out the possibility that Dan, the man Campbell, just getting emotional at the podium is going to want to make his guys run through a wall for him this week. And, whether that was actual authentic emotion or just the two venti cafecitos with 2 shots of espresso wearing off by the time the post game came, I don't know. But either way, they are playing hard for him. So all that being said, though, this number doesn't make sense to me. So this is a bet I made earlier in the week. I laid the 3 with Cincinnati. I think 3.5 would still be a bet for me. And I look at this from a number standpoint and also the matchup standpoint. Let's look at a common opponent that these two teams have had. It's the Detroit Lions, and Minnesota was a 10-point home favorite against Detroit. So on a neutral field, they're 8.5, 9-point favorite. This week, Cincinnati's a 3.5-point favorite on the road against Detroit. So on a neutral field, they're 4.5 or a 5-point favorite on a neutral. So, whether you followed that or not, the point is that I actually have Cincinnati rated higher than Minnesota, and based on these recent closing numbers, this spread doesn't make any sense to me. So I think they should be a bigger favorite than -3, the Bengals. I think they're a solid team. If you look at the matchup, when the Bengals have the ball, 16th in DVOA, Detroit's defense 29th in defensive DVOA. 21st in EPA for the Bengals, not great, but Detroit's defense 27th in defensive EPA. Detroit 30th in defensive dropback EPA, 24th in dropback success rate. And now they got to face Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase and company, a very solid passing attack. On top of that, they've lost some of their best defenders in recent weeks. On IR for the year, Romeo Okwara at linebacker, cornerback Jeff Okudah, he's out. There are 2 corners in the nickel rank outside the top 100 out of 115 corners by PFF. So, and then offensively, Detroit hasn't been much better either. They've been sloppy, and now Taylor Decker and Frank Ragnow are on IR on their offensive line. So I was happy to get the 3. I'd be comfortable laying 3.5 as well. But that'd be my stop point.
Brad, we have a team here in the Bengals that certainly on the defensive side of the ball has performed much, much better than we thought that they were going to. I mean, we do have 5 weeks of data now at this point to where we are coming through with a defense that is ranked 7th overall by DVOA, ranked 7th overall by Pro Football Focus. If you look down, their early down success rate is top 5 in the league as well. Their early down EPA is 7th overall. So while there might be a little bit of noise in there, and there might be a little bit of regression as we continue through the course of the season, there are at least some metrics here, and there are at least some signs pointing to that this defense for this Bengals team is not just all smoke and mirrors, and that it's actually a defense that might be let's not say where they're at right now, a top 7, but let's call it, what if they're a top 12, top 14 with this offense that they've got? It's a fairly intriguing team, I think.
Certainly is. Now, I would say they've done those. They put up those defensive numbers against the 29th hardest schedule, or third easiest schedule. So when they play a real offense, we I think they're probably one that we can get against. But they're probably not playing a real offense this week. The Lions again.
No, they're not.
Yeah, we spoke about the Lions last week. They're losing what talent they had on offense with the centre Frank Ragnow going out. Penei Sewell was playing progressively worse each week, it seems. He's giving up 5 pressures a game or so the last 3 games. They lost their second wide receiver, Quintez Cephas, so that they're down to Kaderil Hodge is their top wideout at the minute. The cupboard is absolutely bare on the offensive side of the ball, and so. Yeah, I'm seeing a Bengals team which can shut down bad offenses, and I'm seeing a really bad offense, and I'm seeing a team total for the Lions at 20.5. And I'd even if they're fully healthy, that I'm not sure they're reaching that. But they've literally got nothing left on offense. So I thought that was possibly the best look in this game. Other side of the ball, just quickly before I pass on, I would say the Bengals they've kind of underperformed, and I think it's the same old story. They've got good wideouts and a good quarterback who's maybe lacking kind of elite arm strength. So he can throw deep when he's got a nice pocket. But the Packers got pressure last week, and the Packers aren't a good defense. They got 3 sacks. They're in his face a few times. But again, the Lions dead last in the NFL in pressure rate and pass rush win rate. So I do think the Bengals will score this week. But I like to isolate the matchup on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, I did. I also played Cincinnati at 3 here. I laid the 3. It's just kind of a prove it to me. I mean, prove it to me that this defense is fake, right? That this defense isn't for real. And if you're going to prove it to me against the Detroit Lions, then I deserve to lose this bet. If that's where they finally get exposed is against the Detroit Lions, then so be it. And I was wrong, and I will go ahead and I'll just wear it. But I've watched these games pretty closely because I was going into this season looking at the Bengals as a team that I was going to be betting on strictly because I thought that they had the offense that would always leave the back door open. I didn't expect we'd have them favorites, or 3-point dogs to the Packers and things like that going on, 6 weeks into the season here. But here we are with this team. And honestly, I think they're better than a field goal, better than this Lions team pretty much every time they play each other. And so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that there is some realness to these advanced metrics that we're looking at here. And I think that this defense is going to be able to hold up over the course of the season. They spent a ton of money. That's the other thing about this. This isn't the defense from last year. So many people weighing in their priors and numbers from last season and things like they went out and spent a ton of money and draft capital on this defense to improve it and to improve it quickly. And so to see this type of improvement, while it might not hold up that they're the 7th best defense in all the NFL, they don't really have to be. As long as they can be the 12th, 13th, 14th best defense, as opposed to the 27th best defense, which is what we had for the majority of the last 3 seasons with this team. I think that there is a really, really big upside here with that offense that they've got as well. So yes, I also laid the 3. Prove it to me, Lions, that you are better than I think you are.